What's going on, everybody? My name is Alex, and today we're going to talk about PC Gamer's August issue. I was at Walmart earlier today, so this video is coming out the day before the 4th. I'm recording this the day before the 4th. I think this is going to come out either on the 4th or the 5th, whatever day you're watching it. This article is actually not up on PC Gamer's site. They have a BioShock article that is in here that is up on the site or up somewhere that was posted a few days ago, but the Black Ops 4 information is not. And I skimmed through this a little bit ago just to see if there's anything interesting in here. I didn't actually read the zombies portion, so I'm going to do that live for you guys on camera. I'm interested to kind of see what people think about this. There's not a ton of information in here, but it kind of gives us a little bit more information on some characters, like specialists, and just a little bit more information on multiplayer, especially in regard to PC. So I'm just going to read it, and I'm going to have some gameplay, I guess, playing over on the background, because I can't find the article, and taking pictures of the magazine is just going to look stupid. So, whatever. Okay, so the cover feature says Team Spirit. Try to show a little bit. Might be reversed. I don't know. Whatever. So it says Team Spirit. Multiplayer leads the way in Black Ops 4, a thoroughly modern take on the Call of Duty series by Andy Kelly. The rumors are true. The traditional Call of Duty single-player campaign is dead. There is no lavish, indulgent 6-hour collection of cinematic story missions in Black Ops 4. Now, the story is threaded into multiplayer, the mode that, let's be honest, is the real reason that fans of the series keep buying it year after year. It's a bold and perhaps inevitable move by developer Treyarch, but for the veteran Call of Duty studio, it's just another way of telling a story. Which is definitely true. Alright, here's the next set of pages, so try to show you as much as I can. There's a little bit of zombies down here. So I'll go through and read the rest of the article, and then I'll talk about the captions that are on the side. If you've been following the Black Ops series, you'll know that we never tell a story the same way twice, says co-studio head Dan Bunting. In the first game, your companion throughout the campaign was a figment of your imagination. In the second game, we told a branching story, and in Black Ops 3, the whole thing was all in the main character's head. So we've always experimented with telling stories in different ways. This is still from a quote from Bunting. It's also clear that Treyarch knows the time and money it spends making a Call of Duty campaign versus the time players actually spend playing it, and that doesn't quite balance out. We're putting a lot more energy into parts of the game where our players spend most time, says Bunting. When you think of Treyarch, you think of zombies and multiplayer. So those are the parts of Black Ops that we want to bring to the forefront, which is great news, because I do enjoy campaigns, they're fun, but how often do you replay it? I never do. I don't even think I beat Black Ops 3. I definitely didn't beat World War II. I didn't even touch Infinite Warfare, and I hadn't played a campaign 8 years before that, so I know some people are butthurt about it, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter to me, so I'm glad we're finally getting the focus into zombies that it deserves. And multiplayer, maybe it'll get some extra focus that we didn't even know it could really use. Let's continue. Black Ops has always felt separate from the rest of Call of Duty, from the rest of the Call of Duty series, and I asked Bunting what he thinks set it apart. We've carved out our own identity in the series, he says. Players love how we interact with them as a community and how we give them a strong, connected social experience. But with such a vast, vocal, and enthusiastic community, how do you filter out the noise? Listening to the community takes a lot of patience and understanding, says Bunting. Even if anyone expresses an opinion, even if it's negative, you know it's coming from a place of passion, and we're constantly updating the game based on player feedback. So being tight with the community helps with that. Treyarch is investing significant time and effort into the PC version of Black Ops 4 and help from development studio Beenox. The PC team alone is 8 to 10 times larger than anything we've done before, says Bunting. It's a dedicated effort. We truly want to make a game that makes Call of Duty a significant experience on PC and makes Black Ops something people trust and love and keep coming back to. That is actually really awesome news, because I own Black Ops 3 on Xbox, PC, and PS4. It's a long story why I own it on both Xbox and PC, and PS4, but I bought it on PC because everybody's like, you gotta get you gotta get it on PC, it has the greatest graphics. I just wanted to see. I didn't really notice a difference, and I have an ultra-wide monitor, and when you put it on ultra-wide, it doesn't actually feel like it's meant for that. It seems like it's stretched out. I know the settings are there, and it's technically not a like oversized image, but it feels wrong, and feels like I'm not getting the full picture. And the graphics, they are better, and I do like having a wider field of view, but it's nothing that you can really notice. So let's see what they have to say about the specs of the PC, because they talk about it a little bit, and I think it's really good that they have a team that's 8 to 10 times larger than what they normally have. So, all right. Battle Station, this is what this segment of the article is called. The PC version will have support for HDR, native 4K, and ultra-wide monitors. Boom. The combat has been tweaked to accommodate a mouse and keyboard, for instance, a faster, snappier camera while using one of your character's special abilities. Black Ops 4 will also be joining Destiny 2 as the second non-Blizzard game to find a home on the Battle.net online service. It's nice to see Treyarch ensuring the PC version is up to scratch. It'll have to be if the studio wants this to be a game which people play for years to come, which is definitely true. With so many great competitive online games available on PC right now, some of which don't cost anything to play, Treyarch has a tough fight ahead of it, which, yeah, I'd have to agree. Hopefully they really deliver on the content. We all know that they have the Black Ops Pass. We all know the game isn't free, but I really think that there's going to be a lot in between all of that we're not seeing, and we're not even going to know what is yet to come until the game releases, or until the next one or two press conferences like Comic-Con and whatever is after that. Perhaps the most significant and least surprising new addition to the series is Blackout. Yes, it's a battle royale mode, taking place on a map Treyarch describes as being 1,000 times larger than a regular multiplayer map. How do you translate the fast, claustrophobic content associated with Call of Duty to such a huge expanse? It's been a different and new challenge, says Bunting, but we've been working on it and have a lot of ideas and cross-pollination between different parts of the game. Excuse me. We brought stuff to multiplayer that we learned making Blackout and vice versa. Investment in the weapon systems is important in Black Ops, but especially in a survival mode like Blackout that's played on a massive scale. You have to think about how weapons perform in a different way. Bullet drop and bullet travel time are things that we've never had to consider in Call of Duty before, but in terms of the actual core combat loop, everything you love and know about that tight Black Ops gunplay and the feel of movement is all just as relevant in Blackout as it is in competitive multiplayer. Blackout will feature land, sea, and air vehicles and will incorporate weapons, abilities, and characters from the series' history, including Mason, Reznov, and the cast of the Zombies mode. I like the idea of these different universes colliding, although Blackout is clearly early in development. Treyarch had nothing to show me besides a teaser trailer, and it's unclear how it plans to make its mark on the Battle Royale genre. So that's interesting. Maybe we're going to see another teaser trailer soon, and not just the blue 3D blueprint with the orange parts of the map highlighted to tell you what's coming. Also, the ballistics issue with the bullet drop and bullet travel time Vonderhaar talked about that on an interview at E3. I'm sure you can find it online. He's sitting on a couch with Bunting, and also the characters and the land, sea, and air vehicles thing has also been mentioned, so that's not new news. Let's see. Make its mark on the Battle Royale genre. It promises the team is doing Battle Royale the Black Ops way, which doesn't really mean anything, but gives us a sense that perhaps it wants to shake the format a bit to stand out from the crowd. As for traditional multiplayer, Treyarch has introduced a couple of new features that could have a significant impact on the way the game flows. Call of Duty multiplayer is famously chaotic and hectic, but Black Ops 4 could be a bit more forgiving for less twitchy players who care more about teamwork than kills. We want to celebrate the fact there are roles that people play, says Bunting. In past games, it's been a passive thing. You got the camper, the slayer, the objective player, but people love to play the support if they don't have the best gun skill. And as designers, we want to validate and support all different playstyles. You'll no longer magically heal when you crouch behind cover. Instead, you have to patch yourself up manually, which seems like a small thing, but makes Black Ops 4 feel markedly different from previous Call of Duty games, minute to minute. A Fog of War system has also been introduced, which will quietly force players to work together. Situational awareness is an important part of our game, says Bunting. Weapons, movement, and health are your fundamentals, but you also have to be aware of what's going on around you. And the Fog of War system has opened up a whole new dimension of competitive play. You're looking to your teammates a lot more because they can reveal enemy positions, Bunting continues. So you're no longer just looking at the minimap for what's relevant to you, but what your teammates are doing as well. This builds teamwork without forcing it on people, which was another one of our goals. We wanted to combat toxicity in the community by designing systems that make teamwork stronger. Whatever you do to help yourself will ultimately make your team better, and that should make for a more pleasant online experience. So, I actually felt this when I was demoing the game at E3, and I think I played 4 or 5 matches, I don't remember, and it felt like you want to help your team. I'm very much like the guy that just worries about himself. I don't care what my team's doing. But with this, like they're saying with the Fog of War and the specialists that you have to pick only one of them, you felt like part of a crew. And whether or not they're strangers or your friends, you want to be part of that crew and you want to do your job to ensure that you're being a good teammate. The health system is different. The hit point marker, the score is different. It's based off of, it's not based off of kills. It's based off of damage. So a lot of little tiny things are different, but they all compile to make the experience what I think a lot more unique. And it's like picking and choosing the best parts of Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege and all these other great shooter games that we love, throwing it into a melting pot and putting the Black Ops design and feel into it. It's really great. So let's go over these little side captions and then we'll finish the article on the next page. So on the left, it has a character saying Treyarch describes Ajax as a movable piece of cover. His shield has a built-in pistol. And on the right, Torque can drop a barricade to use as cover or deny enemy movement. And I'll try to show those on the camera. It's hard to see. Not even going to worry about it. Sorry, guys. So on the other side of the page, right here, it says Dead Serious, the 3 zombies missions available at launch. One is 9 thousands of years in the past. A priest activates an artifact in a gladiator arena, turning a group of prisoners into shrieking zombies. 4 fighters are sent in to kill them before a roaring crowd. A priest. I wonder if that's Treyarch's language or if that's PC Gamer's language. 2, Voyage of Despair. Centuries later, aboard the Titanic, the same device is activated, turning the crew and passengers into zombies. It's up to the same 4 heroes to stop them. Rogue icebergs are the least of their worries. So centuries later on the Titanic, the same device. So I guess it is the same device, but again, I don't know if this is Treyarch or PC Gamer's language, the guy who wrote the article. 3, Blood of the Dead. Little has been revealed about the mission other than a shot of a cell block that looks a lot like Alcatraz. I wouldn't be surprised if the hero's dimension hopping powers took them to the famous prison island. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong for talking skeptically like that. Let's see if there's anything else. Black Ops 3 specialists, including the flamethrower wielding firebreak, will return. Okay. Alright. So we're on to the... I think this is the last page. Yes, this is the last part of the article. This part is entitled Go Ballistic. There have also been some fundamental changes to the combat that most players won't notice unless they are particularly invested in the game. Ballistics have been overhauled, including things like 3D tracer fire and recoil patterns that aren't random, but can be learned. When you introduce randomness, that just leads to frustration, says Bunting. When a gun has a recoil pattern that's completely random, you feel like, I missed that guy, but why? And that's frustrating because you can't really learn from that mistake to get better. So we want all the systems in BO4 to be learnable so players can master them, and we want the journey to mastery to feel rewarding. They've pretty much talked about this already, that there's going to be predictive recoil. So if you're just standing at a wall and firing at the same exact spot, that pattern is going to be the exact same every single time. Let's continue. I also found it interesting how Treyarch opened its Black Ops 4 reveal by telling the amassed fans and press that wall running and jump jets have been removed. The cheers from the fans and pro players in the crowd suggest this is something that people are glad to see the back of, and it's frank admission from Treyarch that it didn't really work. Boots on the ground was mentioned a lot, and the developer also showed off the fact that your gun is always up and ready to fire, even when you're throwing grenades and mantling over obstacles, which was met with a similarly positive response. Changes like this won't mean much to the casual Call of Duty players, but for the lifers who play nothing else, they're tweaks that are both major and welcome. Specialists return to Black Ops 4, each offering a unique way to play the game. Fans of the series will recognize some favorites sitting alongside the fresh faces. I enjoyed the new take on beard and tattoo aficionado Ruin, who can now zip around the map with a grappling hook. It feels very much like Treyarch's take on Widowmaker from Overwatch's similar ability, and I loved using it to grapple away from trouble when I was near death as the enemy looked on hopelessly. It's elements like this that makes Black Ops 4 feel much more dynamic and fun than previous Call of Duty multiplayer offerings, and it feels like the Treyarch team has been playing plenty of Rainbow Six Siege and Overwatch for design inspiration. As for the new operatives, they're an interesting bunch. Torque, alright, here's where they talk about some of the specialists and the new abilities from these said specialists. Torque is an expert in lane control, explains Bunting. He can drop a barricade anywhere in the environment and use it as a portable cover. But where it's most effective is blocking lanes. It's a sort of active denial system, creating heat and distortion effects. He also has a razor wire you can use more frequently. Players can walk through it, but it does damage and slows them down significantly. He brings a layer of tactics to the game that are all about controlling lanes and controlling the flow of a match. It's pretty interesting to hear it from the dev standard. I actually played with this guy, and I pretty much just used the shield to guard myself when I got into chaotic positions, but I did drop the barbed wire and lanes to kind of fuck with people. It was fun. Ajax is the shield guy. He's essentially a movable piece of cover, and when he gets his shield out, he is a force to be reckoned with for anyone on the other side of it. He has a little gun port that he can fire safely from, and he can wreck the place with that. He also has a 9-bang flash grenade. 9-bang flash grenade. And the longer you cook it, the longer it flashes, so you can blind the enemy team. Then your teammates can come in and use you for cover. It's pretty sick. Recon is our situational awareness master. He has abilities called Sensor Dart and Vision Pulse that reveal the locations of enemies to the whole team. Then there's Crash, the combat medic. He can heal and buff his teammates, and he's a good example of how we're not forcing teamwork, but helping players help each other. Everything you do benefits you, but if you do it well, you also benefit everyone else. that's so great because there's nothing worse than when players or when developers force you to do shit you don't want to do. Everyone's selfish. That's fine. I don't care. I play that way too. But it's great that I get to help other people when I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. That's awesome. All right. So, there's another picture of another character. It says, to the left, Battery is Black Ops 4 demolitions expert. Expect many types of grenade. And Seraph can deploy a beacon that lets players respawn in the nearby area. And those are just two other characters that are up here. Finally is the little tiny article about zombies. It's not much, but it's something, and I haven't read it, so we're going to do this together. Deadshot. Finally, yes, Zombies mode is back. What began as a bonus extra in the first Black Ops has become an elaborate, fully featured mode with its own pulpy mythology, and Black Ops 4 will tell a new story in this universe. Okay, first of all, I know I'm not alone here. Zombies was not a bonus extra at first in Black Ops. It was in World at War, so PC Gamer, get your shit straight. The game will come with 3 missions involving time travel, seeing the 4 new heroes hopping from what looks like ancient Rome, and being aboard the Titanic before it slams into an iceberg. The fusion of real history and cult mythology should provide a compelling backdrop for all the zombie slaying. So we already know that if you've watched the Black Ops 4 reveal and all the zombie YouTubers like Reed and shit, all those dudes talked to Blundell, and he said, like, what makes you think that 9 is in ancient Rome? So we're pretty sure it's not. Most indications look like it's towards Egypt because the Roman Empire actually during battles kind of grew its territory to reach northern Africa and parts of Egypt. So that's where it's looking like it's going to be, but no one's really sure. So it's definitely ancient Rome themed, but the location may not be in Rome itself. It could be anywhere, obviously, but it looks like it's going to be in northern Africa. That's just speculation. I'm not confirming. Anyway, let's keep going. The over-the-top grindhouse-inspired tone from previous games is firmly intact in this new tale, and it's so different from the macho military feel of the rest of Black Ops 4 that it almost feels like a separate game. As stylish as this all is, however, Treyarch has yet to reveal any concrete info about how the new Zombies mode plays or how different it'll be from previous iterations. I do like the sound of the new customization options, which let you create matches to share and play online, adjusting how the zombies behave, their speed, health, aggression level, and so on. Replayability is one of Treyarch's buzzwords, and customization like this is part of achieving that goal. Awesome. Black Ops 4 doubling down on multiplayer is completely unsurprising. Some will miss the traditional linear campaign, but most of the fanbase won't care. Treyarch is clear that it wants this to be an ongoing game as a service, retaining players for several years. Its succession on PC is an unknown quantity, especially with games like Overwatch 2, but it's good to see Treyarch dedicating itself to making the Windows version of the game as good as it can possibly be. And then it has just some ads. So all of that is really good news. There wasn't anything new. We got to hear some more about the specialists, which was great. But it's just good to hear that that they're sticking with what they're saying. How it's going to be super replayable. How they're still keeping some zombie stuff secret. It seems like this guy didn't know much about zombies, so I'm sorry about that because I know this is like a zombies channel. But yeah, we'll just kind of see what happens in Comic-Con in a couple weeks. But I really wanted to share this with you guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the article and my opinions about the article. I will try to post a link of the article if I can find it in the description down below. And if you did like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I would really appreciate that. It would help me out. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.